Hello, Lake County, Florida, and welcome to Around the House, sponsored by Romac Lumber and Supply. I'm your host, Don Magruder, and you're listening to my 790 AM WLBE in beautiful Leesburg, Florida. And I'd also like to welcome our viewers from LSTV, Lake Sumter Television, for this very special radio event. Romac Lumber's been in Leesburg at 700 East Main Street since 1946. And for over 30 years, Romac Lumber has manufactured doors and interior trim right here in Leesburg. However, no door, not even a Romac Lumber door, will look good unless it's properly installed. When working on a new home or remodeling project, most people will acknowledge that one of the most important people you can have working on your job is a highly qualified door and millwork professional. Today, we have some of the best in the business when it comes to door and millworks right here in Central Florida. My guests today are Ryan Wilkins, who is the president and chief designer of Trim-It Incorporated, and Ginger Wilkins, who is the vice president, project manager, and office manager for Trim-It. Trim-It is a full-service custom interior trim company which operates in the Villages area and throughout Central Florida. Trim-It has a reputation for high quality, very custom work, which keeps their company in very high demand. If you're planning a new home or remodel, then one of the first calls you should make is to Trim-It for the very best in custom trim. With that, I'd like to introduce Ryan Wilkins and Ginger Wilkins from Trim-It Incorporated. Good afternoon, folks. How are you doing? Ryan, how you doing?
Good. First off, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to be on here. And this is my sister, Ginger. Together we founded Trim-It. Actually, I founded it, and she came along later on and helped me to help it grow. She's the final T.
And Ginger, I guess everyone should know you're brother and sisters, not husband and wife.
Yes.
And I guess a good question, how did you guys ever get together and form a custom trim company like this?
It takes a very, very special woman. We've always, even before Trim-It, we worked side by side through an agricultural company we had and did construction on the side. We have always correlated our lives together, and we balance each other's strengths and weaknesses out. I don't have very many weaknesses, but we just found the balance, and it's always worked through the years.
Well, that's a good deal, because it's highly unusual, brother and sister, work in a construction business and have such a successful business like yours. Ryan, won't you take a few minutes to tell our listeners about Trim-It, how you guys got started, and where you're located, and of course how you can be contacted, because I suspect after this show there's going to be a lot of people wanting to call you to ask you about custom trim and millwork.
Yes, sir. It started out in '08, like Ginger said. We come from a strong working family, but it didn't really matter what we did. We always found something and progressed in it because we did it as a team. Mm-hmm. And Trim-It's a family-based oriented. My dad works for me. We all actually live together, 5 kids, same house. It's a happy family. But it started, the Villages gave us the opportunity.
Okay.
They provided it, and we just took hold. We've worked our way in dealing with Romac. Y'all provide the materials. We do the service. We have the know-how. Y'all give us the means, and the Villages provided the opportunity. Founded, I came out in '08, worked in the Villages as doing cookie cutter homes. I was a punch-out guy, and I just kind of found my spot. I faked it till I made it, and I got in where I fit in. I worked they got some powerful people out there, some talented people. I worked under some people that expected more. And it just, I just kept getting in there. I didn't know trim before that. We did small stuff. We did tongue and groove and Apopka, stuff like that, small construction jobs with my dad when we were kids, but we were big in agriculture.
So realistically, this is the typical winning small business story. You started out, first off, 2008 is probably the worst time ever to start a business in America. The financial collapse had just happened. So you guys started out a family business, and you've grown it to this business now that's doing custom trim work everywhere. That really says a lot about the opportunities that the Villages and this area has afforded.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, without the Villages, we couldn't have done it. They've allowed me to get on jobs and projects that around the rest of the world, as you know, they didn't have it. There was nothing going on. So, no.
It's really amazing. And when we think about the area, that's a big deal for the opportunities for a family-run business. Now, what how can people contact you, Brian? If someone hears something today and they said, I'd like to have Trimit come out and give me a quote or estimate, how can they reach you?
The best way is the office, 352 area code, 430-1852. We've divided it up. Ginger does the more trim, B-board, doors in the villages. I have went outside to do the cabinetry and the more special, higher-end stuff. So we branch off. My cell phone's 352-455-2980. Feel free to call at any time. But like I said, it's easier to be routed through the office.
Okay, now you started doing work around the villages. Now I understand you've sort of just keep expanding out. What areas will you cover, Ryan?
Right now, we customize in concrete, framework, trim, and paint. The areas we'll cover, there's no limit. I mean, if you have a vision and the know-how or the means to want something, we'll come do it. On the whole aspect, what we're trying to get to is do the whole house. I want one person, I want to come to a homeowner, and I want him to deal with me. And I will deal with everything else from the ground up. I think like we used to do it. You know, the villages came in and they have a great machine, the way they do things for the production level of it. But now things are going to start slowing down. I want to cater more towards the whole end.
Okay. Now, Ginger, you're, I guess, the best part of Trimit.
I am,
as
absolutely.
you keep, because we've heard you talk about it. Trimit is unlike any other door and millwork contractor in many ways. You guys actually do custom trim and manufacture a lot of items yourself. Take a minute and discuss how Trimit welcomes this type of custom work, because there's a lot of people can't do it.
Right. We welcome the custom work by the means to be able to do so through having the right proper tools, the team, the organization.
A lot of the way it's the attitude.
Right.
You know, we have all the right tools. It's all the same stuff. A lot of people are just scared to jump out there and do it. And that's where our confidence comes in. That's what gives us the upper hand on doing it, because we have it. I've done it. I've had the opportunity to it. And today, with the technology and the tools at our fingertips, there's nothing we can't do. It's just...
We're not opposed to the challenges.
Yeah.
We'll take on anything. We don't turn away. It's the simplest thing to the most custom thing.
Well, one thing I hear in the construction industry all the time is, Ginger, people will ask, a client will ask a construction company to do something, and they will give them reasons why they can't do it.
Yeah, we don't provide that.
It sounds to me like you guys don't put these roadblocks up.
Nope.
Anybody can come up with an excuse. Our job is to come up with know-how, to come up with a plan and do it.
Now, Ginger, you're not a typical office manager slash... Well, first off, I'm astounded. I've seen your work before, and I've heard a lot of people talk.
Yes.
You do outstanding craftsmanship. You actually, part of your scope, I guess, is like most family businesses, you wind up doing everything.
Yes.
You do outstanding work in trim. Tell us about the skill levels and what you do in the field.
Yeah, I started from scratch. I learned the tape measure to getting on the saw, learning the angles and degrees. I focused on learning every aspect of carpentry to be able to discuss it and talk about it, and to guide customers in certain areas. I found my specialty in crown molding. I've really enjoyed that aspect of it. Once I got down the craftsmanship of it, I learned leadership and what it took from start to finish to make a job site happen.
And you know, Ginger, a lot of people listening or seeing this program today, they don't realize how complicated crown molding is.
Yes.
You have
It's a second nature to me now.
Oh, yeah. But for example, it's not uncommon to have a 4-inch and a 2-inch and a 3-inch stacked crown. And when you make those miters, you have to do compound miters.
Coping, 45s, 22s. You have to find the angles on vaults. It's very complicated.
And one thing great trim carpenters like you and Ryan don't do is use a lot of caulk.
Nope. No caulk.
If you have a trim carpenter using a lot of caulk,
There's a problem.
Yeah, there's a problem.
They're
because
hiding.
They should have very tight joints and
Yes.
stuff. So it's amazing how your skills have evolved. But I understand you also manage the office and you take care of a lot of the things coming. It's really a good family-oriented business, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I enjoy being in the office now and meeting with the homeowners and bringing sample pieces and coming up with the estimates and the bids and material ordering and.
Well, you know, it seems to me, and now you tell me if I'm wrong, because of your expertise in the field, You're able to sit there and you've installed crowns and base and doors. When a homeowner comes in to talk to you about a project or something they want done, you can speak to them at a level that most people can't speak to because, first off, you can relate to them. How big an advantage does that give?
It's very crucial. They love to talk to somebody that knows what they're talking about. They can feel it. If you can answer any question they had coming at you, it's a huge benefit.
I think it's the passion. It's because of the passion we have to do it.
Right.
And that means a lot. You've got to enjoy what you do, and obviously you two folks are very quick saying, guys, you truly enjoy what you do. Let's talk a minute. Now, you alluded to it a little bit earlier, but Tremont is just more than a trim and door company. You've sort of evolved, and interestingly, it's a wonderful concept you've evolved into, but you do so much more than just install trim and doors. Ryan, take a few minutes and talk about the various scopes of work that you guys are doing.
Okay, like I said earlier, we kind of ventured off. We do concrete and framing now. First and foremost, it's because the trim guy always gets the end of the deal. They always got to clean up the mess. So I got sick of it. That wall's out, and then my baseboard crooked, so they want me to, fix it. So we started doing the concrete. And that ventured kind of onto our concrete countertops, which also helped our cabinets.
Now, you mentioned that before. We'll talk a little bit more, but you're actually doing a concrete countertop.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty amazing. So you've decided, and once again, a lot of our listeners may not understand this. If it's not framed correctly, if the concrete slab's not done correctly, it's very difficult for the trim people, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So you've decided to sort of take things in your own hand and do some framing and concrete work. What else? What other scopes are you doing, Ryan?
Well, the first problem we ran into was on the paint. Somebody keeping up and on our schedule. So we started our paint crew. That's probably one of the biggest aspects of it for the trim, because the trim's only so far. If you got a bad painter, he makes you look bad. So that's the first thing we branched off to was painting.
And that's a big deal. I know I seem to highlight this, but once again, that's always a struggle in trim. Having, there's several processes. The best process is to have trim painted, and then installed. However, right now, we've got to take a little break. We've got a lot more to talk to Ryan and Ginger Wilkins from Tremont, and we'll take a break and see you in a few minutes. Welcome back to Around the House, sponsored by Romac Lumber. I'm your host, Don Magruder, and you're listening to My 790 AM WLBE in beautiful Leesburg, Florida. Plus, you're watching us today on LSTV, Lake Sumter Television. We're having a wonderful conversation with Ryan and Ginger Wilkins of Tremont. We're talking about custom trim, and there's so many mysteries behind custom trim. And before the break, Ryan, we were talking about you're a trim company that actually has part of its scopes a paint company or a paint crew with you. And I think that's a big deal. People need to understand how important it is to have a trim crew paint crew part of the trim company. Take a few minutes and talk about the advantages of that.
The biggest thing is the efficiency. There's a bunch of good painters out there. We've used a lot of them, and they get the quality, but it's the efficiency and the time. And so when I hang that board, I need somebody there caulking it and puttying it as fast as possible, because we do a 2-day turnaround, and that caulk needs 12 hours to dry. So it's a must. It's a necessity to have a good painter behind you. We started out, when we first did, I couldn't find one, so me and Ginger did the painting, and I had my guys, they would start hanging the crown. And then now we ventured, I got a 5-man team. We do anything interior to exterior, and mainly they're there for my disposal.
Now, Ryan, you refer to yourself as the head designer for Tremont. How do you take the conceptual idea of a client and bring it or make it real? There's a lot of visions out there.
Yeah, each one's unique. We set up an appointment to start with. I like to be in the environment in which we're going to build it. I like to talk to the people, fill them out. You want to take their ideas and elaborate on them. I don't want to push nothing on nobody. I want to take theirs, and I want to see what they want to shove in there, and I want to make it user-friendly, efficient, and in a cost-efficient way.
Now, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but I assume you work with most various type of materials, the hardwoods, oak, mahogany, cherry.
We've used it all. A lot of times it comes down to cost. So usually a poplar and your maples, oak right now is down. We use a lot of that, but no, we've worked on all the high-end woods. I can meet your imagination. I mean, we can bring it.
Many would ask, why is it important for a company like Trimit to perform all these various scopes of work, but actually it's a huge benefit. Take a few minutes and explain why it's such a benefit to your client base to do this type of work.
Everything we do is cosmetic, and the reason why I do every aspect of it is for the efficiency for the homeowner. We have subs on stuff that we don't do, but every year we're trying to maximize. I want drywallers next, electricians. My whole goal is to do the whole house from the ground up. And I feel like to be the most cost-effective way, I have to be in from the beginning. When you start doing hidden bookcases and rooms and cubbies, it's very important about dead wood and stuff you do at the framing stage. So when I come behind other people, it costs the homeowner more money in the long run. Where at the beginning now, doing the framing and the concrete, we're there from the ground up, and we can make it more cost-effective. That's pretty much the whole thing.
You mentioned this, but what's a hidden bookcase?
Hidden rooms, hidden safes. Everybody's got valuables nowadays. Nobody trusts banks. We do a lot of them. I think
so you do a lot of that?
Yes, sir. I think every family should have one. You keep your valuables. Put a fire retardant safe in there for your paperwork, firearms, jewelry, family heirlooms. You don't want to lose. We do a lot of that stuff.
This segment of Around the House is sponsored by Thermo-Tru Doors. Is your door sagging, rusting, or falling apart? Now is the time to replace it with Thermo-Tru fiberglass doors. These doors will not rot, ding, or rust, and they can actually be painted or stained, and they really look good. Thermo-Tru doors are sold at Romac Doors in Leesburg, and unlike the big box stores, Romac Doors can custom size your door, plus they can install them in composite jambs and molding, which gives you the total coverage against rot. For more information on these great-looking, long-lasting Thermo-Tru doors, call Romac Doors at 352-314-3169 and ask for Debbie or Mark. Y'all have installed a lot of Thermo-Tru doors, haven't you?
Yes, sir. Thermo-Tru's the best.
Now, Ginger, Trimit has really grown since 2008, 2009,
Yes.
and it's been very tough times. How many people are currently working with Trimit today?
We currently have 22 employees. Right now, we have, like Ryan said, we have a few framers, a paint crew, carpenter crew, cabinetry crew, office management now, and of course me.
Of course. Now, I understand that a lot of this growth, things have improved a little bit since 2008, but not that much. Do you think a lot of this has to do with your quality and basically the expansion of the scopes of work you can do?
Yeah, we were able to grow because of good organization skills and being efficient through expanding was key and will be key if we expand anymore.
Do you think you guys starting out as a small family business and doing all the various scopes yourself, that you really understand what's required on the job?
Absolutely.
And that gives you the advantage. In other words, you know what can be done and can't be done.
Right.
We know the right way and the wrong way.
Right.
Ron, I love your company motto, and I guess I'm going to let you tell the motto. Hopefully, you know the motto.
Yes, sir.
But it's a wonderful motto. What is your motto?
Our only limitation is your imagination and your pocketbook. When it comes down to it, I can meet any imagination. Because pretty much if you can think about it, I can build it. It's just another layer of wood, or drywall or concrete. Yeah, I love that motto.
It is. And do you have a lot of people come in and test you on that motto?
They love that motto. I get a lot of feedback from it.
Okay. Now, once again, Trimit is located in the Villages area. Yes. Ginger, if someone wanted to call today and ask for a quote, what number would they call?
They'd call 352-430-1852. They would then talk with me or one of our office ladies to set up an appointment for correspond with both of our calendars for a good date. I'd come and meet with them and fill them out what they're interested in, samples, pictures. A lot of homeowners are visuals.
And that with the internet, you know, a lot of times they'll see a room or go to Southern Living magazine, they'll see moldings, and I suspect you see a lot of that.
Yeah, we do. We recommend house.com. They have a lot of ideas. Our website's www.trimetinc.com/home, and we have a Facebook page.
And Ryan, one thing that makes you guys unique is that if someone comes in there with a different pattern or a different something custom, you guys can actually manufacture it, can't you?
Yes, sir. I have ordered special router bits to accommodate family heirlooms, desk. We can disguise the limit, seriously. With our day's technology and at our fingertips with that web, we can order anything to accommodate.
Ginger, let's talk a minute. You know, once again, if someone wanted a bid or estimate from Trim It, what number would they call again?
352-430-1852.
Okay. If someone's listening or seeing the show today, said, hey, I need some custom work done, and they called you, what would be the process? How would you go? Would you go out there and visit them? Or?
Absolutely. I have to go visit them. A lot of people like to discuss over the phone, and I do, and I answer as many questions they want, but I always like to go visit them. Usually within a week after when they call, we set up an appointment with them and see what they like, see their furniture, see what kind of quality or designs they like, and go from there.
And is there any charge for a bid or estimate?
No, we don't do charges for bids or estimates. It's my pleasure to come meet each and every one of y'all.
Good. Ron, there are a lot of people who call themselves trim carpenters, and you know, and unfortunately they're not. For someone listening or watching the show today, how can, if you walked into a new home or you saw someone's work, what are some of the little things you should notice to identify them if they actually have the skills to be a great trim carpenter, if they've done a good job?
First and foremost is consistency. If you can walk in and walk through a house and you see consistency, they can be right or wrong, but consistency separates a good one from a bad one.
Okay.
I've had bad ones or good ones that didn't have consistency. They did the right thing, but did it the wrong way. And I just had to help mold into it. Everybody has talents and gifts, and I feel like that's my job when I get somebody on. You might come to me as a trim carpenter and end up a paint guy or a concrete guy. I mean, my job is to put you where you can make money for me and I can pay you. So I invite anybody that wants a job. We're always looking for good people to call us, come out. I like to utilize everybody's talents. I didn't do this by myself. It took a team, you know.
We talked about the scope of work earlier, but you know, one big aspect, and you keep mentioning the word carpentry. You guys do a lot of carpentry, and as a trim guy, that's a big deal. For example, if you've got to move a wall for cabinets or something, you can do that, can't you?
Yes, sir. The whole 9 yards.
So that gives you another advantage. Basically, am I to assume the biggest advantage you offer is they don't have to call 2 or 3 different subcontractors? It's one phone call and they can get everything done?
It's the personal experience, yes. My job is to accommodate. You tell me what you want and I make it happen. You come and yell at me if something's wrong.
Thinking about some of the jobs you've done, what's some of the big custom jobs? We can't talk about names, you know, that would be unfair to someone, but what are some of the big custom jobs or custom projects you've undertaken?
To tell you the truth, Don, I get lost in every project I do. It can be your bedroom, just a simple bedroom built-in with your armoire and your gun cabinet and your vanity all in one. I get lost in every job. Now, we've been on some big ones. We've been from Montana to Wyoming. We've been all over doing special things. And each and every one of them's been special in a way. And the best thing is the last walkthrough with the homeowner and that satisfaction that when you took what they seen in their head and you made it real. That's the best thing. So we'll travel as far as we need to go, and we'll do what we got to do to bring that to the homeowner.
Ginger, I understand one of your big specialties is cabinets. And I know Ryan does a lot of the cabinets.
Yes.
If someone calls you today for cabinets, how do you go about doing a layout for the cabinets? And
We do drawings, some like scale drawings, or 2 scale drawings.
KCD.
Yeah.
We got a nice program, KCD program. We can lay it out, the visuals. A lot of our things are so custom, though. It takes, some drawings with
Several
some
times.
KCD program. It takes a bit, some pictures.
Well, there's a lot of older homes around here that have cabinets, and the cabinets are old. Say they go back to the 80s, and the paint's old, and the countertop's old, and they want to update it. Now, I understand you guys do something that's really neat. You do custom cabinet refacing. Why don't you talk a minute about the custom cabinet refacing that you guys do?
Like I was saying, nowadays there's a lot of options out there. We can come in and your cabinets, leave them on the wall and everything, come in, tape off, refinish or retexture. I can take face frames off. A lot of times you can come in and restain the boxes and put on new doors. It looks like $1 million. I mean, pretty much my job is you tell me what you want and I come up with the budget of how to do it. If you have, depending on your budget, is what we can do, but you can do it nowadays really inexpensive and get a big uplift.
So essentially someone could give you a call, say they have a kitchen from the 1980s and the 1980s wants their kitchen back and you won't bring it up to today. You can come in there and take the faces off the cabinets, build new faces, put a new top on it, maybe a concrete top, repaint it, put new molding. Within a few weeks, they could have a brand new kitchen, couldn't they?
Yes, sir. Yep.
How big advantage? Because the problem, a lot of cabinet people these days, if it's not in a box that you just can replace, or they can't do it, they can't do the custom. How big advantage is that for you to be able to do this custom stuff?
That's our whole keystone. That's what we founded on. We weren't scared to jump out there and do it. And that's why we've grown so far. I mean, I've made a lot of big steps in the last 6 years to get where we're at. And that, what you just said, is the key aspect, is willing to do it.
You're listening to Around the House, sponsored by Romac Lumber. I'm your host, Don Magruder, and we're having a wonderful conversation with Ryan Wilkins and Ginger Wilkins from Trim It Incorporated in the Villages. And we're talking about updating your kitchen. And we mentioned this earlier, Ginger, about taking someone through the process. So if someone's listening today and they wanted to talk about custom cabinets, they'll give you a call at what number again?
352-430-1852.
Now, will you come out there?
Usually with cabinetry, Ryan will go, or if it's a big enough project, we both need to go. That way I can have open ears on everything happening and write down or accumulate their ideas, and I can jot down everything. That way he can just speak with them.
And I take it you'll measure what they have.
Absolutely.
Now, is there any charge for giving them options? Maybe there's someone who's trying to figure out if they just want to reface or replace, or can you give them various options?
Yeah, I can give prices off the top of my head on that, or ballparks, we'll say. It usually takes 3 trips. The first trip we come in, I hear what they got to say, I gather it all in, I come back a couple of days later, a week later, and then I give them what I come up with, and then usually we modify it. By the third trip of me sitting down with you, we can usually come up with something and go from there.
Now, I guess it's also important to note, we were talking before the show, you guys also do box cabinet installations. For example, and I guess we need to explain it, in the world of cabinetry, you can buy a pre-made box cabinet that fits in, and a lot of times you put them together, they look very good. In fact, some would argue they're just as nice as custom cabinets. But you guys can install box cabinets for people who are looking for a more affordable look or something like that. That's no problem for you either, is it?
No, sir. Our whole thing is for the homeowner. So we go put garage cabinets in. You don't need to spend a fortune and have this custom cabinets. You got long walls. You can go get box cabinets. We'll install them. No problem.
Ginger, a lot of people are from up north. They moved down here. And one thing I found out about the clientele in this area, a lot of these folks are building probably the last house of their life, and they want what they want.
Yes.
And sometimes they would like a look that they had maybe in New England or Massachusetts or maybe out west, or sometimes it's even putting some type of family crest or emblem in their custom millwork. Are you guys able to do those type of special requests?
Absolutely. It's all a strategy. We do research for anybody.
We're about to take our final break of the hour. You're listening to Around the House today. We have special guests Ginger and Ryan Wilkins from Trim It Incorporated. When we come back, we got a lot more to talk about other aspects of trim and carpentry around the house.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a
One
dad
more
today.
time. Oh, those boys are much too much.
Welcome back to Around the House, sponsored by Romac Lumber. You're listening to my 790 AM WLBE in beautiful Leesburg, Florida. And you're viewing this on LSTV, Lake Sumter Television. We're having a tremendous conversation today with Ryan Wilkins and Ginger Wilkins of Trim It Incorporated. They're located in the Villages area. And Ryan and Ginger, got to say it again, they're not husband and wife, they're brother and sister. And we can tell after about 2/3 of this interview, it seems like she's the dominant sibling.
I wouldn't say all that.
Oh, yeah. But it's amazing how you, as a small family business, you guys have evolved into something very special. And you ought to be very proud of that. I want to go back to something we talked just a little bit about in the earlier segment. Concrete countertops. Now, let's get on the table. You do all kind of countertops, correct?
Yes, sir. We can accommodate any kind of countertop. That's probably why we got started into concrete, because nobody else around was doing the stuff that could be done with it. I actually get excited about concrete countertops.
But you can do granite, formica, laminate, all that.
Corian.
But concrete countertop, explain that. A lot of people listening probably, I've never seen one. I've seen your pictures that look fantastic, but I've never seen one like. Explain what a concrete countertop is, the purpose, and how they work.
It's made out of concrete. The best part about it is I can go from rustic to modern with it. I can do a rustic finish, make it look like it's from old school, or up to a very modern. The color charts that you can do, I like because there's no limit to concrete and it's cheap. It's one of the most affordable concrete countertops there is. It's hard surface, you seal it, finish it. I can make it look bowling ball, swirls. I mean, there's no limit to it.
Does it have any issues with cracking or breaking or anything?
To tell you the truth, I put cracks in some of mine. When we go for the rustic look, we put cracks in there. We darken the cracks and do the top a lighter base.
Okay.
The look. It's all about appearance.
So you're seeing this bigger item in a lot of your rustic kitchens, I'm assuming.
Yeah, in modern, they got these breakaway moldings we use for the outside now. I can give you any kind of finish, an OG or a round over, your beveled edges. We can make them look really modernized, give it a smooth, sleek look.
Now, Ginger, we talked a lot about your cabinets and such. If someone wanted to replace a door or smaller projects, it seems like we've talked a lot about bigger projects.
Yes.
You guys do really any type of projects, don't you?
Yes, I cater to the smaller projects in the villages. Door replacing, adding molding, switching that out. That's my aspect. That's my passion. Getting in and out 2-3 day process jobs. That's my field.
So Ryan, you guys will do big projects as well as small projects. Do you think that gives you an advantage as a trim company?
Definitely. I hate it when somebody says no. When you say you're a trim guy, but you won't do that, or you'll do this. We try to offer it all. We do trim.
Are you a small company that still will do competitive pricing on small jobs?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ginger, if someone had a door they want to replace or add, and I'm assuming, let's talk about the projects. If someone wanted to add crown molding in one room or add both base molding or replace one door, they would give you a call at what number again?
352-430-1852.
You would come out and give them a price on replacing that, and then you guys would just...
Before I leave, I'll give them a price. That way they know if that's something they want to go. They want to go smaller, bigger,
A big deal about quoting prices in this industry. A lot of people feel like they get bait and switch. They get one price, and then all of a sudden there's a bunch of add-ons and stuff such as that.
Yes.
When you generally give a price out, is it fairly firm?
Yes, I stand by our price. It does not change. We sign a contract.
I'll even go a little high. When I give you an on-site price without going and breaking down numbers, I go high on purpose. I don't like to come back and say, oh, no, it's this much more. I'd rather come back and say, hey, I saved you $200.
Oh, yes. Well, and that's very important. In other words, your company, unlike a lot of folks, it's no bait and switch pricing.
No, sir.
Now, if while you're in there, someone says they want to do an add-on job and they want to do additional things, will you give them an upfront price on that? For example, say you started you're going to just do a one room of molding and you're going to add one door, but they decide, hey, I like this and want to do the whole house. Will y'all do a add-on price, tell them up front how much that would be?
Absolutely, we'll make changes to the contract and do a re-signing, and that's no problem at all.
This segment of Around the House is sponsored by the new YKK Neat Glass Windows. These vinyl low-E windows offer maximum energy savings and special glass that actually repels dirt. They literally wash themselves. If you're interested in replacing, adding YKK windows, call Mike or Sarah at Romac Windows at 352-787-4545 for the best service and competitive prices. There is only one name to call in replacement windows, and that's Romac Windows at 352-787-4545. Ryan, there's a lot of homes in Lake and Sumter counties that need interior facelifts. They've had a lot of wear and tear, had new moldings, outdated mold. There's a lot of homes out in throughout the area that have just flush doors. There's no decorative doors. Are you guys able to come through and basically update a whole house? And I'm going to tie that to something else. That a lot of people are looking at doing remodels and additional houses on, foreclosures. Are you guys able to help people who are getting foreclosures?
Yes, sir. We like to think that we can help you in any aspect of your home, remodeling, building, add-on, and that's why we had spanned and do the different avenues that we do now. I don't care about the project. I'll come in and we'll uplift doors. That's the one good things about the Villages. They came in and made all this, but there's not a lot of the craftsmanship in there, and that gives us the opportunity. That's kind of why I started Tremont. I seen there was a gap there that needed to be voided. We got people in the surrounding area that's from up north. They're used to the custom craftsman style stuff, and that's why we kind of jumped in there.
Now, Romac Doors offers the ability to take for example, someone's listening and watching today. There's a interior door. Maybe you have a flush, plain Luan or smooth hardboard door, and you want to change it to a 6-panel door. Mm-hmm. You could actually bring a sample of that door in with the hinge placements, and Romac could cut the door, and it's really a matter of just a quick and easy install, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's real simple when it comes down to it. The Village provided the opportunity. Y'all help us with the means. I mean, y'all make it really simple, and especially this new molding plant y'all got going on with these moldings. I mean, it's really going to expand us in our commercial end, and it's great working with y'all. I mean, y'all are half the battle.
Ginger, as you think about what's going on in remodeling and the work you do, what are some of the trends you're seeing? What are people asking for in as far as moldings and doors and colors?
Well, crown molding's always been a plus. I'm seeing a lot of beadboard and wainscot wanting to be added.
Why don't you explain what beadboard is? Because a lot of our viewers and listeners don't understand that.
Well, beadboard is it's
a paneling, usually 4x8. It comes in a sheet. It's an 1 3/8 flat spot with a bead that's about a 1/4 inch thick, so it's a busier molding.
And where do they normally put that?
Under countertops, like your bar tops. People kick the wall, scuff them up. This gives you a paint surface so you can wipe it off. Bathrooms,
foyers, walk-in entrances.
And you're seeing a lot of wainscoting again?
A lot of wainscot.
And wainscot is when you put molding about 3 foot off the ground, and are they generally wainscoting with a beadboard or a different surface below it?
Yeah, wainscot's more the custom end of it. You start with the beadboard, it's a simpler version. You got a chair rail, you got the backing, and then you got a base. When you say wainscot, you're talking more like the cabinet end. Like we make cabinet door panels, recessed, that come out at you, flat panels. It's just a more complex version.
Okay, and what about paint colors, Ginger? There's it used to be it was very bright and loud pastels. What are paint colors doing these days? What are you seeing in that?
I'm seeing a lot of neutral. I don't see a lot of bright. I have seen one of the new things is black ceilings.
Black ceilings.
And putting the crown and all the extra trim, white trim, it really makes it pop. I'm seeing a lot of that. Not a lot of loud colors. More neutral.
Ryan, are you seeing more people do things with their front porches and back lanais?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely back lanais and front porches. Here, out here, there's so many different people, different cultures and stuff. We do a little bit of everything. It's weird. One month, we might have, like you said about door replacements, we might have 10 door replacements called, all one upgrade. And then next month, it's like everybody wants B-board. And then they want summer kitchens. Out here, the market and the aspects of it and the variety of it, there's no limit. Every day's new.
What about custom? A big part of custom millwork, Ginger, is there's a lot of people who love their closets. A lot of women, that's a big deal, making the various closets, make them wider, bigger, special millwork to hold shoes and so.
Yes.
Ryan
is the king of custom closets, and utilizing hats, belts, shoes. His brain does not stop in that category.
What do you see in custom closet design? I know you do most of the designs, but do you get frequently called for people who are wanting to do big custom
Yes, sir.
closets for their wives?
The biggest thing's user-friendly on a closet. Basically, I go there, ask them what they're trying to put in it, and then I make it user-friendly. A lot of these people, I hate seeing somebody pull a ladder out of the closet to get on their shelf. So all my closets, my pantries, my closets, I always come out. The bottom shelf is always 18 to 20 inches off the ground, and it's actually the step stool. It comes out farther than all the other shelves. So that's your first step up. That way you can reach the top shelf. There's different things like that I think sell us the best.
So you build in a step stool so people can get up to it?
Yes, sir.
What about, we alluded to this earlier, concealed areas of the closets for protection? Do you put those type things in custom closets?
Yes, sir. Anywhere. Our entertainment centers, our coffee tables, your bed. I can put a hidden room anywhere.
What about entertainment centers? Once again, everyone's getting these large televisions. They're wanting entertainment systems, and that's almost getting close to furniture. Ginger, do y'all do those type of projects?
We do lots of entertainment centers and buildings and shelving and.
So, for example, if someone had a 8-foot wall and they want to do a specially custom entertainment system for television and their audio, you guys could do it.
Yep, we take in the measurements for the TV, all their components, speakers, lighting.
A lot of the time, it's not just an entertainment center anymore, especially in bedrooms. It's like on one end, I start with a desk area, and then you get to the center, you got the entertainment area, and on the other end might be the dresser. But the whole thing is to make it look like it's one build-in. You know what I'm saying? They're all special and unique. Gun cabinets in them.
Oh, you do special gun cabinets?
Yeah. Like the last one we did was an L shape, and it started on one end with her powder desk where she did her makeup, went to their dresser, went to a tall arm wire with a TV stand, to the hidden gun rack, to another tall dresser.
So I guess the aspect first starts off with is what the client wants.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're listening to Around the House, sponsored by Romac Lumber. I'm your host, Tom Magruder, and we're having a wonderful conversation today with Ryan Wilkins and Ginger Wilkins of Trim It. And we've talked about a lot of custom projects, and I'm sure there's people listening and viewing that's going to say, hey, I'm really interested. Ginger, once again, how can they contact you to have a design developed or a price quoted on these items?
You can contact our office at 352-430-1852 and set up an appointment. We'll get with you within a week of that phone call and come meet you and go from there.
Ginger, what's next for Trim It?
The sky is the limit. We're just moving and expanding and, like I said, keeping good organization skills and still providing efficiency and, sky's the limit.
Do you see your company expanding its scopes of work? I know you and Ryan have both talked about the various things you're doing, but do you see that scope of work expanding to other areas?
Yeah, like Ryan said, he hopes to one day for us to manage the whole thing, to only come and have to deal with one person, us, for the homeowner. So definitely in the far near future, possibly GC license. We want to be able to accommodate everything.
Ryan, we've talked a lot about Trim It. one thing we really haven't talked about, what makes Trim-It different than a lot of other trim contractors? You know, you guys have been in business since 2008, but you've hit this incredible niche of custom work. But what makes you different? Why are you different than the other folks?
The experience. It's family owned and operated. We hold accountability. We treat every house like it was ours. You're gonna get that other places, but it's not just a regular business. We're a family. Each one of my guys I'll vouch for. I do stuff every day for them to let them know we are a family.
Okay. And as far as you're concerned, I know this is a dumb question, but how did you get your knack in this? I know you started out in punch up and punch out work and trim work, but you've really hit this knack. What really got you in this?
I was born with a hammer. And then my family with a work ethics. And then I just have a knack for building and designing. I see things, and my aspect is I can do anything. I mean, with the right tools and the right material, you can do anything with the right time. And just the willingness. And it's, like I said, it's the passion.
And that's something you got to have. Ginger, if someone were to call today and they said, hey, I need a custom job done, take us through the actual process and the time period that it's going to take from that phone call till it's actually completed to get this done typically.
Yeah, like I said, we set up an appointment to come meet with you within a week. I cater to small projects. We leave holes in our schedules every week to accommodate homeowners that need immediate assistance, to be able to accommodate that factor. Bigger projects, 2 to 4 weeks, leave time for preparation.
So if someone were to call today, there's a chance in 3 or 4 weeks they could have that custom kitchen or custom closet that they want. You're working on that type of schedule, Ryan?
Yes, sir.
Please join us next Monday at noon for Around the House, and we'd like to thank our viewers at LSTV, Lake Sumter Television, for watching today. See you later around the house.